on the Vince Everett Ellison show. I'm going to react to that viral video that's going around of a father taking his gay son to the prom. Yeah, I'm going to react to that today on the Vince Everett Ellison show. All right, let's get this thing started. Man, if you want to see how standards have fallen, and if you want to understand why our children are in such disarray and so confused, and if you want to understand why America elected Donald Trump for president, all you need to do is go on TikTok and look at this viral video of this black father taking his, I don't know if the boy is gay or transgender, but he dressed like a woman. His father taking him to the prom. And he's a black man at that. Oh, and the internet, oh, they just phone in and they just so happy and they just so proud. They say this is the most beautiful thing they've ever seen. Or as they say in the hood, the beautifulest thing they've ever seen. This father accepting his son's sodomy. Accepting the fact that his son might be wearing diapers before he's 23, 24 years old for the rest of his life. That the odds of him catching AIDS have just expanded probably about 50 times. If he's transgender, over 60% of the trans women, that's men that dress as women or act like women, or I don't know what it is, man. So some say, you know, some are called drag queens. These, I think a drag queen is a guy that's dressed up a guy for show, dressed up as a woman for show, but in his real life he still lives as a man. And I think that a trans woman is a dude that thinks he's a woman. He feels like a woman. And a trans man is a woman that feels like a man. I don't think they have had the bottom surgery yet. I don't think the dude's got his junk cut off. I don't think he's had any silicone implants. But he feels like a woman. Now, that's interesting because I don't even know, I'm a man, I don't know what a man feels like. I just feel like me. And if you ask me, Vince, how does it feel like, what does a man feel like? I'd be saying, man, look, I don't know. I'm a man, I guess you just do what I do. That's what I feel like. So when people say I feel like I'm a man, I'm gonna say I don't even know what you're talking about. A woman says I feel like I'm a boy. You know, it's crazy. It's a mental disorder, so hell with it. But anyway, I'm gonna read you what people are saying about it. I guess this is called Hollywood Unlocked, Georgia. It says, "Oh," it's off with "Oh." Watch the sweet moment a Georgia father takes his son to the prom. The viral prom moment that's got everybody talking. A family from Georgia just served up the kind of father-son moment that melts hearts and silences hate. So if a man tries to raise his boy to not be abused by other men, that's hate. You see how they fix this? If he teaches his man, if he tells his son to hold on to his man card and to his manhood, that's hate. You know, Terrence Howard talked about this on the Patrick Bet-David show, and he talked about how why so many men in Hollywood end up on drugs. He said because they do all these terrible things to get these roles and get these jobs in Hollywood, and they can't get it out of their head, so they have to take the drugs in order to make the pain stop. And he talked about he kept his man card. If somebody come up to him and try to get him to do something like that, he bust him in the mouth. And he lost a lot of jobs behind it. But he said a lot of these guys get on drugs because they do these things. And it tears them up inside, literally and figuratively. And they have to get on drugs in order to get some type of peace. And then the drugs destroy them.
You know, there's a short life in
why do you think that is? What the creative side is?
Well, because losing out money. You got to take drugs. You're going through so much shit to try and deal with life. You are literally, it's an unhealthy space. And so eventually you're going to go too far. There's a lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it. A man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right of being a mother and taking care of her family and do all those things, when you give up those things, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man. So I believe that's a big problem with a lot of the actors out there because they get fluid. And next thing you know, once you go fluid, it's gone. You don't have any foundation to pull yourself back from. So maintain your man card, no matter what.
So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head. The things that they did, no matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything. If I get all the Nobel Prizes from doing all of this, but in the process I have to trade out all of my integrity to do it so that they can stay in place, what benefit is that if I lose my integrity? You got to go in as a principal. And what we were brought in here as men. We produce 1,500 sperm per heartbeat for a reason, because the aggression is necessary. You don't trade that in, no matter what.
So this father rearing his son from having to do that with men. If he does that, he's supposed to hate. Anyway. And now a viral TikTok posted by Diamond Gibbons. Her teenage son stepped out in a prom look so bold and beautiful, the internet had to pause and take it in. It was so bold and beautiful, the internet had to pause. They don't understand that the internet paused to take it in because it was disgusting, it was gross, and it was freaky. That's what it was. It was gross, disgusting, and freaky. And Democrats love men in dresses. So the teen wasn't playing with the fit either. He rocked a deep purple tuxedo dress with a slick bow detail and a feathered fan that added even more flair. He was dripping confidence, surrounded by family and friends who were clearly hyped to see him shine. But then came the twist that had everybody emotional. His dad pulled up in a matching purple suit. That's right, suited and booted in solidarity, ready to take his son to the prom. As his father walked over, you could see the teen try his best to hold it together. But the love, all the love was written all over his face. Lord have mercy. As expected, the video blew up fast, reposted, shared, and praised across platforms. Folks in the comments were showing love for the family's bold and supporting unity. But you know, the internet always has something to say. While many celebrated the moment, a few trolls crept in with negative energy. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah. So I think y'all need to see it.
My husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
Don't mess up that makeup, Jabba. Jabba.
Look down, let him cry. Oh, he's crying. Oh my God. Oh, you made him cry. Wait. Let's let him fall on the floor. Let him fall. Let him fall on the floor. Oh, poor baby. Oh. Hold on.
Look up.
Oh, Mello's crying. He didn't know his pops was gonna be there. He's crying.
This is monumental.
I know. Oh.
All right, come on. I need pictures. Excuse me. I love the candidness. Let it know. Let it. Let's go. Okay. Moving emotion.
Ain't that a shame? That child wasn't raised right. His mom and dad let him down. He's probably raised by his mama, and his mama probably hated men. But you know, they got these liberals now. You can't be a Democrat probably unless you're transgender. You don't know what they are. I mean, Chuck Schumer could be transgender for all we know. Jim Clyburn could be transgender. We don't know. I mean, you can't check the package to see what they are. Nancy Pelosi could be a man for all we know. You just don't know any longer. If they don't care about what the woman look like, she can be an ugly woman and it don't matter. So they got they got a couple of them. They got one named Representative Zoe Zephyr, Zephyr, is transgender he is a Montana state representative. And then there's one here in the great state of Virginia. His name is Senator Danica Roem, R-O-E-M. So this is a senator, one's a senator, and one's a state rep. One is from Virginia, and one is from Montana. So one is Zoe Zephyr, and one is Danica Roem. They did name themselves, and they took women's names. And as you can see, they ain't just men in dresses. They're ugly men in dresses, ugly women. I mean, and the Democrats are proud of them. And then they want to fight you if you call them by their biological birth. Well, Donald Trump said he's going to put an end to all that. And I'm telling all these state houses right now, you guys need to put a stop to this mess. And y'all need to put in the code of conduct of the House and the Senate of your states that whatever your birth biological sex is, you need to wear clothes that corroborate with that. If not, with these Democrats, they're going to start coming in gorilla suits, kangaroo suits, monkey suits. I'm telling you now, you better put some controls on these people. Because as I said before, they don't have stopping sense. So this father shows up, take his son to the prom. Obviously, he's a weak father because his son is raising him. He ain't raising his son. So people walk up to me and say, well, Vince, what if your son walked up to you with a dress on and he wasn't playing? Yeah, and he wasn't playing. What would I do? Yeah, what would you do? I'd knock him out. See how simple that is? He wake up 10 minutes later when I'm pouring water on his face and ask him to explain himself. But see, he wouldn't get to that point with my son. Because I would have brought him home and I would raise him in his gender roles. As soon as he got home, he would have known what to do. My father raised 4 sons. He never had that problem. Because when we came home, mom and daddy, these are the gender roles. Y'all with your dad. We just go off with daddy and daddy would get in his truck, me, Bobo, Marvin, and Robert, we just stay with daddy all day. We getting wood, we chopping wood, we doing stuff. And the girls will be with mama. All day long we're being corrected in what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to act toward one another. Boy, don't scream at your sister. You better not touch your sister. Boys, don't do that. Girl, it's all, and then by the time you're 3 years old, it's in your system. I've told everybody, psychiatrists will tell you, all behavior is learned, and all behavior can be unlearned. We all have things in us that we have to control. Everybody. Bad temper, kleptomania, sexual deviancy, you name it. Nobody cares about how you feel. We care about how you act. And actions can be controlled. So when these jokers tell you that they got to wear a dress, they're telling you if they got to wear it, they can control themselves, they're telling you they're crazy. And if they're crazy, they should not be in any branch of government. If a man says, I got to wear a dress, I'm going to lose my mind, he's telling you he has no control of himself. I would never walk around in a dress. However, if I decided to just wear one, I wouldn't lose my mind. I think it'd be funny as hell. And just like everybody's laughing at these transgenders, they be laughing at me in the dress. But it ain't like I'd be in the dress just shaking and going, I'm about to go crazy. I sit back and just drink a beer. But these jokers say if they don't wear men's clothes, they'll lose if they wear men's clothes, they lose their mind. That's because his mama and his daddy didn't wire him up properly when he was young and got that crap out of him. Yeah, you got to break children, man. Some children, you got to break them. You got to break them off the breast. You got to break them off the bottle. You got to break. I saw this thing on television one time. True story. This woman breastfeeding her son. He like 12 years old. Yeah, he run around the house, just jump on and just pull up a blouse and just start go to town. And when they ask her why you let that boy do that, she said, well, he just said, bro. She has a bad parent, man. His daddy just watching him do it. Dad should have slapped him all the way across the room. So, got your mama's lap, boy. What's wrong with you? That's how these parents were for these children. They either didn't have no daddy or they had a weak father and they had a crazy mama. All of them. And then they grow up and they have no self-control and they're crazy. And they've taken a lot of these young children now and they've indoctrinated them in public education. They've led these children to believe, these young folks to believe that this is proper behavior. So the Democratic Party doesn't care what the Bible says. The Democratic Party does not care what culture says. So this is why you're having all of this mess going on in the world right now with Vladimir Putin and Ukraine. They're trying to press this stuff all over the world. They're trying to use the power of the United States of America, what they did before Trump, to press this lie all over the world that you use your public educational system and the arts to teach your society that this is proper behavior. And because we are accepting this stuff in America, America's dying. Our replacement rate should be at 2.1. Right now it's at 1.6, and it's been there for almost 10 years. The nation is dying. We made a farce out of family, a farce out of gender, a farce out of manhood. Oh, but things are changing. So they're putting this stuff, and then they gaslight people with it, trying to act like this was beautiful, that this was great, and this was nice, and this is a good father, and there's some trolls that are being mean, Man, these people are lying to you. Everybody I talk to about this say this is a damn shame. I haven't talked to anyone that gave support to this foolishness right here. I'm going to see my daddy next weekend. Can't wait to show it to him. Ask him what would he have done to me if I had walked out going to the prom looking like that. The reason why this boy did that is because he knew it would be accepted. He knew it would have been accepted by his mama and his daddy. And children are just like government. They'll get away with everything you let them get away with. In my generation, less than 1% of the population was doing this crap. Now, in this generation right here, it's about almost 10% of them. You know why? Because it's being permissible. And they'll say, well, no, it's just because right now, everybody, it's the same numbers in your generation, but they were scared to come out, and now they ain't scared to come out. Oh, that's crazy. Them men were having babies back then. They were getting women pregnant back then. That's why we had a birth rate back then. If they were trans and gay, why were women getting pregnant and getting married? Oh, they's bisexual. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, okay, sure. You got no proof of that. We have proof now, and we have psychological evidence that says all behavior is learned and unlearned. All behavior can be learned and unlearned. So they put this stuff out, and they have this affirmative action thing in Hollywood now that tells these people in Hollywood, you got to have a homosexual in every movie that you do, or you got to have a black person or a disabled person. So they've humped us up, black people now, with yeah. They got my skin hooked up with his sand. We're all in this thing together, like Al Jarreau used to say. We're in this love together. And you got people in the black caucus and people in the black community. Got grown men supporting this foolishness. Now y'all just make me sick. Isn't that nice? The daddy taking the son to the prom. Oh! And this is why right now, you're not going to have any grandchildren. This is why now your sons are going to die young. This is why they are going to have their bodies, they're going to have to be on HIV medication for most of their lives. This is why they're going to go to the hospitals, ask for sex exchange operations, have their bodies ravaged and torn up. Why would you want that for your child? To have that child sitting under the knife, having his private parts cut off. Your daughter having her breast cut off. Your son having silicone implants put in his chest. Having his nose chiseled down. Taking hormones for the rest of his life. Being ridiculed. And looked at like he's come from a circus. It's a Democratic Party, part of freaks and weirdos. As I said again, part of perverts, liars, psychopaths, anti-Christian bigots, thugs, hoes, and rappers. All they do is meditate on blood, and they're filled with hate. It's not this child's fault. It's his parents' fault. And I wish I knew his daddy. Well, his daddy wouldn't be a friend of mine. That's for sure. He wouldn't be in my circle. Man to mistreat and abuse his son. You talking about child abuse? You want to talk about child abuse? That's child abuse. That is child abuse on a whole nother level. I mean, they talk about you take your child, you don't feed him. That's child abuse. You take your child, you don't clothe him. That's child abuse. You take a child, let him run wild in the street, do this stuff. You got to pay for it. That's child abuse. You'll be in. I mean, if they catch your children walking down the street now unattended, they'll lock you up, put you in jail. But they'll take that right there and they'll applaud that. They should make this part of child abuse too. A father that lets his son walk around in a dress, or a mother that lets his son walk around in a dress, should be listed as a form of child abuse. and the child should be put in foster care with a conservative Christian home with a father like mine that'll get that crap out of you. So y'all, let's pray for these people. It is obvious that the Democratic Party has made them lose their mind. It is obvious that the indoctrination is working on them. It is obvious that these people have turned their backs on God. It is obvious that they're in for a whole lot of trouble in their lives when you cannot even look at a man and say that's a man and a woman that's a woman. When the guardrails have been so removed from your life that you don't even know how to tell good from evil, right or wrong, or a man from a woman. And they're trying to gaslight the rest of America into believing that this is proper behavior, and it's not. It's insanity on a hyper level. It's cruelty on a hyper level. It's child abuse and child neglect on a hyper level. It is evil on a hyper level. And you have to see it as this. The Democrats are no longer the loyal opposition. They are an evil institution hell set on destroying everything that they touch like a hurricane, like a cankerworm, like a cancer. It is just in their nature. So they applaud this young man because this is what they want. And they want it for your child too. So you better look at these people. You better understand who they are. You better understand what they're trying to make you think is right. Because as you see, I'm on the other side of this. They ain't gaslighting me. No, I see them coming to thousand. See, I know them. I know them. I know them. I can't stand those bunch of freaks and weirdos. No, you ain't going to catch me sitting across from a man in a dress. Get another table. I don't want him in my presence. And people try to say, well, you're the one that's got the problem. You're the one that when you see him think about perverted stuff. I said, no, you're the one that's the pervert. Because when you look at something that's perverted and you don't call it perverted, you're the pervert. Well, you saying because I look at something that's perverted and call it perverted, that makes me the pervert? No, the person that's perverted is the one that looks at something that's perverted and calls what's perverted good. You're the pervert. You don't know what good is. You don't know what right is. Why are you worrying about what he does? I'm not worried about what he does. He put this stuff on Tik Tok. I was minding my own business. But this is how they try to gaslight society. This is how they try to bend society to their will. To put this online and then say all these nice things about it and make you think that if you don't say something nice about it, something's wrong with you. Now, there's something wrong with them. It's like seeing a baby being assaulted. And you say, oh, isn't that nice? That baby's being assaulted. It's like seeing a person shooting up with heroin. And you're supposed to, oh, isn't that nice? He's shooting up heroin. You're supposed to say, look, I'm not going to be silent in the presence of pure evil. I will not be silent. You see me, I blast it all over the world. I don't care what you think about it. If you like this, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with your soul. Yeah, I said it. Just in case you didn't hear me, let me say it again. If you like this, if you like that young man in a dress going to the prom with his daddy, if you think that's good, something's wrong with your soul. And you belong in the Democratic Party. And you need to repent. And if not, just go soak your drawers in some gasoline and light them on fire because that's how you're going to feel when you go to hell, all right? Now, if you find that you have taken any satisfaction in this podcast, in this show, I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, I want you to comment now. So we're going to take this thing to a whole lot another level. The more you comment, the more you subscribe, the more you like, the more recommendations I get, the more YouTube will push my program and we'll get that 100,000, then we'll get to 1 million. These people are asleep right now. But we're not going to let everybody stay asleep because I'm here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good today. So please join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website. And on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got t-shirts, we got caps. You got my books, my documentaries. You got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new t-shirts. We're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it. Make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.